Now, Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to Double OT with Ruthie Polinsky. I'm Yanni Karakis.
I didn't know if you were going to welcome. I thought you were going to
welcome. No Dondero this week, just as the scheduling would permit. How you doing?
I'm so good. How are you?
You like the so good.
I'm just always doing really good.
That's good.
Really
I like your positive, much like Tom Brady. Before we get going, tell us your Tom Brady story yesterday.
So I introduced myself to Tom Brady. It was after his post-game presser.
And so when he's at his locker by himself, it's interesting to see him in that setting because you're in close proximity to him, and you could go up to him, but it took some nerve.
I mean, no one does.
Generally speaking.
No one does, because you know that like he's gonna talk on the podium. That's his thing, and he sometimes has the media guys around him. It's kind of, you know. But I've been meaning to go up to him, and I've been telling Mark that I just want to be introduced to him, just because of the Michigan connection. I went to Michigan, and I've just been meaning to go introduce myself. So it was after his podium talking. There was no one really in the locker room at the time that we were talking to, and Brady's just getting some stuff out of his locker, and I look at Mark. No one's really around. I look at Mark and I'm like, this is my moment. And Mark was like, yes. And so I just walked over to Tom.
Was it a sprint or a brisk walk?
No, it was a brisk walk with purpose.
With purpose. Anything in hand? Did you have the mic in hand?
I think I did have the mic in hand. And I just walked over and I said, Tom, I've been meaning to introduce myself. My name's Ruthie. I'm with WPRI in Providence. And I just started working here. I actually went to Michigan. So I've just been a huge fan of yours. And he's actually, to be completely honest with you, I don't really remember what he said.
He blacked out.
Blacked out. Peed down my leg. No, he was very engaged, really made great eye contact, really paid attention to what I was saying. And
did your knees wobble?
Knees did not, but so I told him that because I was actually born in Ann Arbor as well, when my dad was doing his residency in Ann Arbor. So I told him that when I was, 3 years old, I was at the big house when he was quarterback, and he was just very smiley and appreciative. But he shook my hand. Still, I haven't showered yet.
Firm?
You want a little
How was
TV?
that handshake?
I have washed my hands though. It was very firm, but gentle and kind.
Firm and gentle, kind.
Yeah, he's a very kind man, and he made great eye contact. I think I might have just word vomited. I don't really know what I said.
How did it end?
I just said, I was just like, good luck. I don't know.
So, and the moment you turned away from him and re-emerged into society, were you like ear-to-ear grin?
Yes. And Mark looked at me and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, no. And I was just my knees were like shaking, but it was wonderful.
So you text your mom about 8 seconds after that?
8 seconds later, Debbie Polinsky also was peed down her leg, probably. So
a lot of urinating.
She was really young. My whole family, my dad too, of course, because he's a big TB12 guy. So
and then, so you going to parlay that into one-on-one for New England Nation?
I know. We got to get that going. But I mean, now I feel like after, a big Michigan win, because like we're going to be at Ohio State this year, I'll be able to be like, hey,
I'm
Tom,
trying to think
how
who
about
on the teams from Ohio State. Usually they do bets, and he has to wear like Ohio State gear.
Oh, really?
No one's coming to mind. There has to be someone.
I can't think of anyone. Anyway, but that also gave me a lot of confidence just in that locker room, because I introduced myself to Jason Tatum today because he's from St. Louis, wanted to make that connection.
Good connections.
Great connections. He's a big
Whenever
Emo's
you
Pizza.
can approach someone outside of the formal interview with a purpose, like, hey, I'm from St. Louis, so are you. If I was like, hey,
just wanted to introduce
heard
myself.
you like the pizza place in Boston, so do I. Then it's, it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, and he asked me, Jason today asked me where I went to high school. He's like, when did you graduate? Told him I love Emo's Pizza, because that's like his thing. He's now the face of Emo's Pizza in St. Louis, which is crazy. If you're ever in St. Louis, check it out. Emo's.
All right.
Well, maybe they should get me on there too.
I would
think
so.
Me and Jason. Anyway, you want to do our first question?
Yeah.
So let's actually do the show now. First question for Double OT, who you got? Panthers or Patriots?
I have Patriots by double digits. I'm saying 32-21. I think the Patriots, from what we saw last week against Houston's defense, that's supposed to be one of the best in the league, that they're going to be able to move the football. Even with Tom Brady on his rear end, which happened far too much against Houston, they're still able to score points. I think they'll get theirs against Carolina. And the Panthers, I think, have scored 9 and they've scored single-digit points in the last. They aren't scoring a lot of points. Now, the Pats' defense doesn't look particularly good, but if they can corral Cam Newton so he doesn't get those big chunk yardage plays, I think they're going to be fine. I think they win by double digits. I'm not too worried. I'm interested to see Christian McCaffrey, the kid out of Stanford, because he's a nice, dynamic player. But I think the Pats win by double digits. The Panthers lost handily to the Saints, who the Pats beat handily. Now, that always doesn't translate in football, but I think the Patriots are far superior.
Yeah, I think we saw that the Patriots are able to move the ball, score points. Wish they would have done it in a more, confident manner, less letting it down to 23 seconds left in the game. But I think they'll be able to move the ball, especially against Carolina. They're 2-1 on the season, but their first 2 wins of the season are
Bills and Niners. So who have they beaten, right?
Right. No one. I mean, whatever. So I think Cam Newton's more. He hasn't really proven much this season yet. Obviously, after struggling last year, we got to see that guy come back. So I'm not sold on the Panthers. I don't think it's. But I think I just texted you my game pick. I think I said 35-14.
Ooh, that's very big win.
I don't think they're going to be able to score much. I think the Patriots defense. Okay, so offense is clicking now. Defense is bad, right? Patriots defense is bad, so they'll figure some things out. And I think they're going to win by a lot.
All right, so we agree on that.
I hope so.
I'm excited. We're both going to be there Sunday.
I know. I'm excited that you're going.
I like watching exciting players. Cam Newton's just exciting.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it'll be cool
Texans game was fantastic to watch.
So good. So good. Cool to see JJ and all that kind of action.
JJ. All right, next up, Tom Brady. You're doing a feature on him for New England Nation Sunday. Through 3 weeks, 2-time reigning AFC Player of the Week. Leads the league in passing. Is he, when it all is said and done, the league MVP?
It's week 4. I mean,
it's week 4. Going out on limbs here on the OT. Come on, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're predicting things.
Okay, so total yards right now, I think in the NFL, Tom Brady, this is in my story for tomorrow, a little sneak peek. Tom Brady has 1,092 yards, and the second place person in yardage is Kareem Hunt from Kansas City with
who is the AFC Player of the Month.
AFC and Rookie of the Month, who has not a lot of. Tom Brady's beating him by 700 yards, something crazy. So I just think that's interesting. I think he's doing very well, but it's week 4. It's a lot of football to play.
You think he's going to decline a tick?
No, he's already breaking more records in his career. Right. A tick. But we're going to hashtag a tick for the rest of the season until every year. I predicted in the summer
that Tom Brady would decline a tick, which is a tick, but we haven't seen that yet. If anything, I think his stats through his first 3 games last year are pretty much on. He's been terrific. He hasn't thrown an interception, 5 TDs last week. Tom Brady will win the MVP because the award is tailored to go to quarterbacks. Generally speaking, it does every year, whether it was Matt Ryan last year, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, whoever. And if he keeps us up at 40 and the Patriots are right there, and the thing with Tom Brady is he's not going to throw a lot of interceptions.
No.
So when you look at his stat line at the end of the year, he's going to have 40-plus touchdowns and single-digit interceptions. And I think Rodgers has had his struggles so far. Matt Ryan's played well. I don't know who else so far would be in the discussion. You mentioned Kareem Hunt. Maybe, but I think Tom Brady ultimately gets his 3rd MVP.
I like it. Okay. I'm not going to give a definite answer. I get nervous. You guys are very big on making these statements? Crazy early.
And that's not a hot take. That is what I think.
No, it's not a hot. It's okay. Okay, Brady. Okay.
My guess would be he'd be the oldest MVP in the league. That has to be the case.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
I'm curious who won. Maybe Manning the year he broke his record.
This is another cool stat. If he wins this week, he ties Brett Favre and Peyton Manning for most.
And I feel like that's been underplayed
most wins. Yeah, and this is only week 4, so he's going to win more games and pass them both. So that's pretty amazing. Every record of
Peyton Manning's that he beats is a great job. I love that the Brady-Manning debate was so close for so long, and then Manning just retired and his arm fell off, and Brady just kept going. Although I will say this, I was at both AFC Championship games in Denver where Manning's team won. So head-to-head, recent years, he had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears to baseball.
How confident are we?
As we tape this, the Red Sox magic number is 2, so any combination of Red Sox wins, Yankees loss, and they're in the playoffs. Right now, we don't know. It'll be Cleveland or Houston. the starting pitching the last 3 nights between Pomeranz, Sale, and Porcello has been very shaky. So how confident are you in the Red Sox come October?
Not confident at all.
Like scale, 0 to 10.
Scale 0 to 10, I'm going to give them a 5. That's bad. That's low.
So you're not surprised if they do well. You're not shocked if they stink.
Yeah. I'm going to give them a 4. I'm going to predict them kind of stinking in the playoffs. I think, like, on the stinking side of things, I think Chris Sale he's supposed to be your go-to guy, and he has not been the month of September. I think he's allowed 9 home runs in September.
He's struggled of late. He's never pitched this many innings this late in the year. He's never pitched in the playoffs. And you look at his frame.
Terrifying.
But the night he got the 300 Ks, he was still throwing high 90s. So his velocity's there, but you wonder if there's some fatigue involved.
Sure, and the accuracy and the location of the pitch. I think also with the bullpen the confidence that's where I see confidence. I think the offense is producing now, which is something that is surprising because that's maybe something that throughout the season has been not something that you fans have been excited about as the offense. But I think they're gonna lose in the ALDS.
Whether it's Cleveland or Houston.
Yes.
Competitive 4 or 5 games or like swept like last year?
I think maybe 5-6 games even maybe. Competitive.
Okay.
But lose.
So they'll lose. I
hope they don't. I want to go to a World Series.
I have the Red Sox losing in the ALDS to Cleveland or Houston in 5 games. I feel like Chris Sale is going to be okay.
Oh, ALDS
you know why?
Is best of 5.
Best of 5.
That's why I said.
I was going to correct you, but I didn't want you to.
Oh, no, that's okay. I just forgot.
I think Sale's going to be fine. Because I think he's waited his whole career for this moment, and he's a gamer. He's a guy that you give him the ball on a big night. I trust in him. I don't trust Pomeranz. I don't trust Porcello. I don't trust Eddie Rodriguez, even though he's pitched well recently. And Doug Fister, I don't want to throw him out there in a playoff game. I do trust the bullpen. So maybe.
How do you feel about Price?
I think Price is a very intriguing proposition, but it has to be the perfect circumstance because I don't know as a starter if Farrell's going to put him in night after night after night. His arm and body isn't really built for that. So he's built for like pitching, all right, your starter gets shelled, or like Porcello gets shelled and then he comes in and does some mop-up work. Mm-hmm. So do I think he can be what Miller was for the Indians last year? Not to that extent in terms of innings, but he can chew up a lot of innings. And I think the Red Sox bullpen has been solid of late, as you mentioned. So I think if they're in a close game, the bullpen keeps them close. You have Kimbrel on the back end. They're going to be okay. I don't know if they win the 8-7 game because I don't know about the offense against good playoff pitching.
Right.
They were last in home runs for most of the year. We saw a couple big ones last night, but
confidence in extra innings, though.
Yeah, they've won some close games. I will say this: the Indians weren't getting a lot of hype this time last year, and they went on to the World Series. So
Indians are good.
I think momentum can help, but baseball. The saying is, it's only as good as the next day's starting pitcher. So
yeah,
they may stink and back into the AL East crown, but then turn it on for the playoffs. Let's hope Sale gets proper rest and can, for Game 1, be ready to go.
And we talked about this last OT. Do you throw him in and that last start and let him try and break the record? No. I changed my answer.
Oh, Bye. You had him break? Yeah.
Well, I had him if put him in for 2 innings so he can get 5 strikeouts if he needs them.
What is he at now? Like 3 something?
I don't know what he got. He was bad in that last game.
Yeah, he struggled.
Only was in 4 innings or something. I don't know.
He gave up 4 home runs. That's all I know.
Yeah, bad.
All right, Celtics training camp in Newport. You were there today.
I was there today. It was very fun.
Did you go sightsee? Go to the mansions first?
No, I've done that though. I did the cliff. I've done the cliff walk, which is something the C's did today. The team went on a cliff walk. It was adorable.
What was your vibe? It's new look Celtics. How was it?
It's a fun vibe. Brad Stevens is fun. I think they're all excited. I didn't talk
fun.
He's fun.
I mean, is he like rah-rah?
No, but I guess I'm just so used to Bill Belichick that I'm just
Bill,
he wanted to chat. He was happy to come over and say hi. He was shaking hands with the media, was appreciative of us being there, I think. And I think the vibe is excitement. I think they're still definitely trying to gel this new team together. And so much of the hype about this training camp that they did in Newport was, it's team bonding and we're going to dinners. And Brad Stevens said today, well, there are a lot of good teams, or there are a lot of teams that like each other that aren't good on the court. So that's, he's like, hopefully this builds some familiarity with us on the court and off the court, but we have a lot of work to do. I think it's I'm not sure if tensions are high with the new addition to the Cavs, because I think Celtics were feeling pretty good about.
Oh, you think
Cavs.
I'm not worried about D Wade.
You're
cares
not?
About that. He's too old.
He's old. They're old. The Cavs are old now.
He got stuffed
and
by the rim
young.
in the playoffs last year when he was with Chicago.
Yeah.
At the TD Garden.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so much hype around it right now. But the Celtics are a very different vibe. There's not a lot of comfort. They're young.
That's good.
They're ready to go. It's fun. I think it's good.
I like that they did camp in Newport. As corny as it is, like, are they sleeping in bunk beds and they're in pajamas? No, but I think there's something to be said about going out to dinner and
being on a bus
even if
together.
only for 3 days, because they're brand new. Only 4 players returned from last year, and I think what's key. And I saw a quote from one of the Celtic players. I think it was Terry Rozier, saying Kyrie has been great, so engaging, teaching the younger guys. Because my issue coming from Cleveland with the fallout is Kyrie kind of, a self-serving, self-righteous guy who's not a good teammate. I was worried about that. So far, it seems like he has been. Mm-hmm. And even at, how old's Kyrie, 25?
Yeah.
He's sort of an elder statesman on the team. And Al Horford's, they have quality character guys.
Yeah.
Al Horford's a good character guy. So the young guys are going to kind of mold into what they do. And obviously, Gordon Hayward coming from college into Brad Stevens, he already knows the thing. I thought it was interesting when Brad Stevens said, "I feels like I have a new job," because it's pretty much a whole new team.
Right.
But vibe seems good. I mean, it's going to take a little while to formulate everything. And like Gordon Hayward was saying, like, where people like the ball on the court and everything like that. But the NBA regular season, as we've learned, doesn't mean a whole lot. Mm-hmm. We're going to assume they're going to get the 1st or 2nd seed along with Cleveland, and that they'll meet Cleveland in the conference finals. So the NBA's regular season is sort of a formality. So if they can get all the kinks out and are good for the springtime, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, just a note, can we touch on this? Because since we're on the topic of the NBA, LeBron obviously at Media Day going off about a lot of things. How crazy was it hearing him talk about Kyrie? Did you catch this?
Yeah.
And he calls him the kid.
Yeah.
Like 17 times.
Yeah. A little patronizing.
I saw into Kyrie's mind a little bit when I was listening to LeBron. I'm like,
well, I think that was getting back for Kyrie on First Take, saying, I don't care about LeBron's feelings.
Right. Maybe.
LeBron's not going to get.
And I don't know if LeBron intentionally was trying to be patronizing.
I think he was, yeah.
You do?
He orchestrates everything.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Your tweet was funny when he woke up on Media Day and was like, "Let's get it, been a minute, Media," and you were like, "What'd you retweet it?"
Oh, imagine if Bill thought that. Belichick
wakes up like every day, like, can't wait to talk to the media today.
He was very articulate and outspoken about all the anthem stuff. So
yeah,
he's been at the forefront of that whole situation.
Yeah, using his platform.
That's right. All right, last one.
Last one. I don't know. I have to turn the page. Yep. Is college basketball in real trouble? This is bad.
I don't know if this is like the House of Cards coming down right now.
Look at your basketball you put in there.
That was already on file.
That's cute.
I wanted an NCAA logo, but we didn't have one.
It's cute.
I think it could be the beginning of the sport cleaning things up, unless they decide to start paying players, which I don't think is happening anytime soon. Louisville and Rick Pitino, respectively, big-time coach, big-time program. I think you need a handful. Like, if they're like, all right, Syracuse, Duke, UCLA, and Kansas, you guys are all coaches are suspended, vacating wins, championships, that would be, a bombshell for the sport. If this is an isolated incident, I don't think it changes a whole lot. I think coaches are on notice now. Hey, those skeevy assistants you hired from AAU programs that are doing these backdoor deals that you're pretending don't exist or you don't know about, people are going to get wind of this. Right. So hopefully it makes things cleaner. But if it's just Louisville and we don't see any other programs getting hammered in the foreseeable future, then I don't know how much it cleans up the sport.
Yeah, is it in real trouble? I think people are going to watch college basketball. I think people are still going to care and want teams to, they're going to watch March, I want my national championship back in 2013 against Louisville. 2013? It was my sophomore
2013.
year. Yep, that was a heartbreaker.
Unbelievable game.
That was an unbelievable game. Trey Burke's block was clean.
Was clean.
Clean.
I saw that tweet today.
I'm trying so hard not to be salty, but that was a heartbreaker
But the
for me.
NCAA is like a sham. I mean,
The NCAA,
pretending it's amateur athletics when there's so much money involved,
Yeah,
billion-dollar
you
business.
can't put a player's name on a jersey, and, you know, like how you
but
buy
then
their
you're gonna
numbers.
use their
but-
likeness in video games and.
Yep. Like, it's bad. There are definitely some things that need to be fixed in college basketball and college sports in general. And I think this looks bad. I think this looks bad on what coaches are doing to get these kids. I think it makes like these. I honestly feel bad for a lot of these kids that are coming from God knows where and are saying, "How am I going to turn down $100K?"
Right.
I mean, what are you? It's just it's a messy, touchy situation, and I hope this fixes some things for coaches, recruits, recruiting
As
in
long
general.
as you're competing, people are always going to try to get an edge in athletics.
Yeah.
So if it's not money through shoe companies, maybe it's something else. But there's
It'll be
always going to be
interesting to
stuff
see
going
what
on.
happens to these shoe companies.
I would love an Excel spreadsheet of every program, how dirty they are. Because if Louisville, if you're a championship team within the last 4 years and you're doing this, now a lot of it corresponds to the character of your coach. I think Pitino's pretty sleazy, but if Louisville's doing it, is Duke doing it? Is Kentucky doing it? Or are they big enough they don't have to do that stuff? And then again, like,
but how is Duke?
Butler doing it? Like in Brad Stevens, when they were in the Horizon League, they weren't playing on that field. They weren't up there, so they were just getting the recruits they were getting, and they weren't, having to pay because they know, hey, we're getting a 3-star kid. We're not in the 4- and 5-star business.
There's no way that Duke is competing with Louisville just by saying, "Hey, we're good." But where Louisville's
if
paying
$100K
kids,
for this kid, and Duke's like, hey, we have no money, but we're Duke. You're right.
I mean, come play for us. We're Duke.
But listen, if you know you're a first-round pick and you're pit stopping in Durham for a year, $100K means nothing to you in a year when you're making several millions.
But these are 18-year-old kids that are making this decision. They're not thinking like that.
If you can avoid the $100,000 for the 1 year and just wait till your NBA contract kicks in,
IDK, Yanni. I think it's hard to be an 18-year-old kid.
Well, if you have
think about
good
those
parents,
families. You don't
if
really
you have,
know if you're going to be NBA.
A lot of the times they don't have good parents, but if you have a good set of parents, and hopefully they're guiding you in the right way.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
these slime ball AAU coaches.
You want to believe that Coach K and these big-time coaches aren't slimy, but
well, I mean,
it
look
could
at
be there.
UNC
They could be
is a
saying,
top,
"Oh, I'm turning a blind eye." And
North Carolina is a top 5 program. They have academic fraud over the last however many years under
Right.
Roy Williams.
right.
Not as bad, but maybe those kids aren't eligible to play basketball because they aren't going to class. So you're not getting the player; they're on the sideline.
It'll be really interesting to see who comes out of this alive. Honestly.
It's like what was that? Jennifer Lawrence. What were those movies called? Where she has the bow and arrow.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Tony, what was the movie with Jennifer Lawrence?
There was a book.
Yeah, there was like 5 of them.
5 books.
I usually know this stuff.
We're blanking. This
Steve,
is so
you got
embarrassing.
nothing? Steve's got nothing.
He's got nothing.
What is it called?
She's the Let's change the subject until Tony gets
She's
it.
Katniss Everdeen. I know her name.
Yeah. It's a book.
Uh,
I didn't read them or see the movies.
really?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Hunger Games.
Hunger
Games.
I asked,
Who will love?
What'd you ask Siri?
I asked Siri.
What'd you say?
I said, give me Jennifer Lawrence movies.
Thank you, Siri.
Tony Petrarca, everybody.
Hey Siri, and then you can do that and just say Hey Siri in your
Yeah,
phone.
I don't correspond with Siri ever.
You should.
Why?
It's nice. I'll say Hey Siri, directions to Gillette.
Without pressing anything.
Yep.
Really?
She just hears me. You can turn it on in your settings. I'll show
Okay.
you.
All right, that'll
That's a
do
millennial
it for
thing.
this. Yeah, you millennial. For this episode of Double OT, hopefully Don Darrow's back next week.
Yeah, I missed him.
Yeah,
it's
it was
not
sad.
as not as like
the
fiery.
volume is like instead of a 28, it's
Yeah.
like a 15.
Yeah, less yelling.
You can watch every episode online, WPRI.com, and on iTunes, search Double OT, subscribe to the podcast. And
Hashtag double OT.
hashtag WPRI.
Double OT.
Anything else
We
you want to add?
tried that triple OT. No, we just.
But it's not. Like, it's
then
only
you'll
double
lose all-
OT with 3 people. We've lost
No, I
Yanni
know.
and Mark.
That's
It's
true.
double OT with 3 people.
With 3 people.
We're still in double overtime. The issue is we got that.
I get it.
We got
It's
that
fine.
weird animation mug of Mark and I.
It's so funny.
And we look like albinos.
Who drew those?
Lee made it.
Get
With a
me in
pencil?
there.
Yeah, we'll get you in there. We'll get you in there.
That could be my Twitter avatar.
Avatar. Okay. Thanks so much
Thanks for watching.
watching and listening. We'll see you next time.